Since so many people ask about the timing signature of the sacred secretion, inner Christ consciousness, inner alchemy cycle, I'm going to explain it here today. Again, here's some supporting documentation from the Bible if you want to go. You can read more. If you're new, welcome. This is some really interesting information I think a lot of you guys are going to enjoy. So first and foremost, this inner alchemical cycle, which you can find all around the world. In China, it was called the Neidan. In the Hindu regions of the world, it was called the Kundalini rising or the Kundalini awakening. Krishna's stories about it. It's really essentially the alchemical marriage between the sun and the moon. Now, these male-dominated secret societies like the Freemasons, the Rosicrucians, the Order of the Golden Dawn, even the Theosophical Society, they properly said for men, because all of those cultures were male-dominated, when the moon goes into the sun sign. So in other words, if you were born, let's say, like April 1st, you would be in Aries. When the moon enters Aries as a man, that is when your process takes place. However, they don't account for a lot of things. Number one, we don't know if they were using Western or Vedic astrology. We're assuming they were using Western astrology. However, the moon would be technically in Pisces. It wouldn't be in Aries, right? So what I've done is I've developed a 7-day system. And that 7-day system works off of the 7 chakra system or anything else. So you take the 3 days prior to when the moon would go into your sign as preparation. You take those 3 days during when the moon is in your sign and the 3 days following. It's really 2.3 days, all three averaging a 7-day week. However, for the women, it's much different with this process. For the women, it's actually when the moon returns to your natal phase. And the reason for this is because of how not only genders are different, but also how men are generally ruled by time and women are ruled by space. So think about this logically. Men are tied to the sun, women are tied to the moon. Our hormone cycles are tied to those. Male testosterone works on a daily and yearly cycle. It rises 20% in the spring and falls 20% during autumn, whereas women are tied to the lunar object. So this is time, this is space. When the moon returns to the same place it was all the time for the men, meaning the moon goes into the sun sign, that's when that activates for males. However, for females, it's the space. So in other words, it would be the phase of the moon. And this is why women's cycles kind of sync up with others and they're a lot more sensitive. Now, the key to this is that women already know that their menstrual and ovulatory cycles are very sacred. A lot of cultures did, and women are now getting back into that practice. So if you're a woman and you're practicing when the moon goes into your sun sign, unfortunately, I have to tell you, you're actually doing it wrong, and it's a kind of a patriarchal male-dominated thing. So you want to go look up the Eugene Yonash fertility method, or you can just do it when you're ovulating. Ovulation is going to be the key point for you to do this process. But now, what do you think? Comment down below, and if you're interested in working with me, I've got books, courses, and an AI tool and all that. So come work with me if you need some extra help, or drop some comments if you want extra questions.